Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So in this video, we will quickly understand what MCP is and jump into a quick demonstration of how Astra DB can be used as an MCP server. So before this model context protocol or MCP came into the picture, integrating external tools with large language models was quite a frustrating and manual task. And if you wanted your language model to interact with the internet, pull code from GitHub, or even check the Docker container status, you had to write custom integration code for each tool, and there was no standard interface. So every case meant everything from scratch or reusing some hacky script. So for developers, definitely it was an inefficient way to do the work, and for beginners, it was quite overwhelming. So now we have this MCP. You can think of MCP as an unified bridge between these large language models and external tools. And instead of writing 100 lines of glue code, now all you need is a single standard interface. And the protocol defines how an LM should call tools, send requests, and receive responses, all in plug and play way. So when a user asks a question, instead of just the LM guessing the answer, the system can call the external tools and gather real information and provide contextually rich responses. And everything is orchestrated through MCP. Yeah, now let's talk about the different levels of usage, or what we can evolution of MCP. That means we will be walking through what was before MCP, like phase one and then phase two, or Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. The first generation, we can call it as a beginner step. You can just ask the question to the large language model, and it gives you an answer. No tools, no real-time information, just pure, model-based prediction. For example, we can ask who is the CEO of Google. The model answers from the training data, right? And then the second generation, as you can see, here's where it gets a little smarter. You attach the tools like through internet search or API, and the LM doesn't really rely on the training data itself. It fetches the real-time information and using the tools behind the scenes, of course. So for example, you can ask like what's the current weather in Paris. The tool fetches the live data. And then the third generation, or what we call multi-tool multi-agent based systems with MCP, which is the latest version. So these advanced users can now ask queries, and also now connect multiple tools using MCP servers and manage complex queries that require chaining tasks, right? So for example, check the GitHub repo issues, and then start search Stack Overflow for error or for resolution, and then return the consolidated solution. So you can everything is possible without hard coding tool logic into your app, and thanks to MCP for that. Um, Before we jump into the demonstration, I think we should also understand what the MCP client and the MCP server is. So MCP client, which you can see, this is that layer that sends requests from the large language model to the tools, and think of it as a messenger. For example, you can see the cursor, which is of course a quite popular AI coding editor, and also Claude and Vencer and so on. And in MCP server, this is the part that actually executes the tools, and it takes the incoming request from the MCP client and then runs the right tool, gathers result, and send it back. So for example, you can think of Fetch, which is you can see in every video. Fetch is quite a popular MCP server, which fetches the information from a particular website, extract all the information, and then try to fetch live. And then also there are a couple of servers on GitHub server. You can do everything like pulling a new request or creating a new repo and so on. So you can see the official GitHub repo to see the huge list of MCP servers. So in simple terms, you can see the MCP client sends the task, and the MCP server does the work, and the client receives the results and give it in a better answer. I mean, in a well formatted structure through the language model. And let's jump into a demonstration of Astra DB, how you can use Astra DB. Astra DB, as you know, that it's a great product by DataStax, and we will be doing through Langflow. If you don't know Langflow is basically a low code or almost no code platform where you can create GenAI based solutions applications by simply dragging the components. It's really super easy. So let's jump into that demonstration. You can also check my previous video where I have almost used the same approach, the demonstration, but this time we will be using Astra DB. So you can see this is the Astra DB DataStax website. You can log in using your Gmail ID, and then you can see all those databases, and you can click on this create database, and then a couple of more options, and you're ready to go. For this tutorial, I will use this test DB MCP, which you can see on the left as well. So once you do it, you will be able to see an API endpoint, and you can also create or generate on your own token. So for this, I will just generate one token. These two are important. Okay, and now let's come back to this Langflow website and create a simple agent. As you can see, it's I'll just remove not which components which are not required. So let me just remove the calculator as well. So you see they have one chat input and then agent. I have already included my OpenAI API key, and then on the right you see the chat output. And what I will include is this MCP server. Okay, this is the component you can see. Yes, here please. I will just zoom in, and then you see UVX MCP server fetch. This is by default. This actually the command for fetch server, but for that we need Astra DB. So for that we need a different command, right? And I will just include that. And also for that I will just need this API endpoint and also the secret token. Yeah, so let's delete this. We need to get rid of this because we will not be using fetch server. Instead, we will be using Astra DB server, right? And I will just use my notes. Okay, to do that, we need couple of the command should be env. It should start with env, and then we have to put something like Astra DB application token. Okay, and here we need to include your Astra DB token, which I have just generated. Where is it? Come on, give it to me. Should be here. Copy. So what I will do, I will just paste it here. Let's put that. Yeah, and then we have to go at the end. Where is it? Sorry, my bad. Let me just zoom in. Yes. So at the end of this Astra DB application token, I will just give in space, and then I have to include one more variable, Astra DB API endpoint. Okay, and here we have to include this one. Hold on, did I just generate? I guess so. Should be visible. Let me do that again. Sorry, my bad. I have my bad. So I will just replace this with this new one. And now Astra DB endpoint, I will come back and then see this is the part we need to copy, go to this notes, and then without any space or leaving anything, I will just include that. Now, after giving another space, I will just npx and then minus y. And I think you should also mention and in space at the, all these are available in their documentation, so you can just I will just try to put that in the link in the description, put the link in the description. So this is the data stacks, and then / Astra DB MCP. So just copy the, not the entire thing, but this one, copy, and then go to Langflow, use it to paste, and then refresh. So it should detect the MCP server, the Astra DB MCP server, and should reflect, as you can see. So we have a lot of functionalities, but I will not just specifically choose anything. I'll just enable this tool mode, and then it should enable that part. Come on, can I use this tool? Yeah, now it is. There you go. Okay, now I can go to this playground and ask different questions. So we are completed on the MCP server agent, and then with the flow, complete flow, we'll go to the playground and ask a couple of questions. But if I come back here, and this is the test DB MCP for which we have included the API endpoint and generated the token, right? So you can see there is a um, collection called movie review. I was just testing about it. So let's ask this flow, list down all the collections within this database. So even if you don't ask this within the database, it will eventually fix it, because the API endpoint and the token was specific for that database, which is in our case, which is TestDB MCP. And I was just trying like TestDB and DummyDB in the past. So the response should be movie reviews, because we have only one collections here. And once it yes, I see movie review. So let's create a new empty collection called tests collection. Okay, and it should do that. So let's see what is going at the backend. I have asked this question. It will just give me that this collection called test collection has been created successfully. It hopes so, and we will be able to see it here. Let's see, where is it? Message empty. Yeah, something, it's working. Okay, so it has been created successfully. Let's go back to this tab and then come here. We should be able to see it here. Yes, it is collection. I'll just ask two more. I'll just ask two more questions. Let's say how many records. As you can see, this under movie reviews we have 99 records. So let's ask how many records are there in movie reviews collection. And then one more query I can do. It has a lot of things you can do, but I will not do more than one more, because my laptop is freezing. Anyway, the concept is really great, because I personally is working on I'm working on something to integrate in engineering softwares like PLM, like Siemens Team Center, and one more on ERP like SAP and other platforms, so that engineering workflows can be more efficient, or we can automate some tasks, maybe changing the BOM data and other form of data using MCP or maybe generative AI. So the idea, I mean, of course, we had the idea, we are just implementing that, and modifying something from the, from platform like, in platform like Astra DB, using this Langflow and then the MCP server, it feels great. You see, the snake collection has 100, but actually it is 99. There might be some version issue and all. So I will just try to check one more. Let's say for this ID, please copy, find details for the ID this in movie reviews. Okay, I just hope it doesn't crash. So I just want something like small town Wisconsin, and then review ID, creation date, and so on. So something for some more information about this record, and that can be fetched using this ID. Yeah, you see, town Wisconsin, and so on, so on. So I think the idea is great, and thank you so much for the entire data science teams and Langflow team for building such a great tool, so that our work is easier. and see you next video.